My foster parents starved me, thinking I was a helpless foster kid, not knowing I was undercover CPS. What they didn't know was that I was undercover with CPS. I showed up at the Ericksons' front door with a black eye, greasy hair, and a garbage bag full of thrift store clothes that smelled like smoke. My caseworker, Elizabeth, knocked while I stood behind her, playing the part of a scared 12-year-old perfectly. In reality, I was 18, the youngest undercover operative CPS had ever approved. The second Mrs. Erickson saw me, her smile disappeared. She stared at my bruises and worn-out sneakers, then told Elizabeth to just leave the paperwork on the porch. Elizabeth reminded her that I needed to be shown my room and given house rules. Mrs. Erickson rolled her eyes and said she'd fostered plenty of kids before. She knew how it worked. When Elizabeth reached out to shake my hand goodbye, Mrs. Erickson stepped between us, pumped hand sanitizer onto her palms, and said, "Foster kids often carry diseases," I whispered. "Where do I—" Like we'd rehearsed, but she cut me off, laughing sharply. "I've heard every manipulation tactic in the book," she sneered. She grabbed my garbage bag like it was toxic and shoved me inside. Mr. Erickson came out of the kitchen looking me over like I was livestock. "Another runner?" he asked. His wife shrugged. "Probably, judging by the black eye." She kicked my bag toward the basement door. "Your room's down there," she said flatly. Not a bedroom, but a basement with concrete walls, a single bulb, and a stained mattress. She pointed to a bucket in the corner. "Bathroom's upstairs, but that's for family. You'll use this." The teddy bear I clutched was my only comfort item, but really it had a hidden camera in its eye. I recorded everything, including when she showed me the lock on the outside of the basement door. "For your protection," she said. "Foster? Kids sleepwalk. Can't have you wandering into our children's rooms." That night I sat on the floor while the Ericksons ate pot roast at the dining table. Mrs. Erickson tossed me a crust of bread and a cup of water. "Earn better food with good behavior," she said. Their daughter Bethany laughed. "The last one took 3 weeks just to earn peanut butter." When I reached for the bread, Mr. Erickson slapped my hand and snarled, "Say please, just because you were raised like an animal doesn't mean you'll act like one here." My handler had warned me this home was bad. 3 foster kids had died here in 5 years, all ruled accidents. Reading the files was one thing. Living it was another. That night, I activated the emergency recorder sewn into the teddy bear's stomach. Every sound went straight to CPS headquarters. By day 3, Mrs. Erickson dragged me into the yard, stripped me down, and hosed me with freezing water while the neighbors peeked over the fence. "Can't have you contaminating our shower," she told them. Her kids laughed through the window. Each day, food was withheld for the smallest things. Looking at her children, speaking without permission. By day 5, I was dizzy with hunger. But it was Mr. Erickson who terrified me most. He'd wait until his wife was out shopping, then sit on the basement stairs, describing how other foster kids had fallen down the same steps, accidentally drank poison, or wandered into the river. "Kids are clumsy," Ikai said, flicking a knife open while cleaning his nails. "Accidents happen when no one's paying attention." On day 7, it escalated. Bethany had snuck me a granola bar, but when Mrs. Erickson found it, she dragged me upstairs by my hair. My teddy bear tumbled behind us, still recording. She screamed that I was a thief and a liar, proof that foster kids were genetically broken. She forced me to stand in the kitchen corner for 6 hours. When I swayed, she slammed a pot next to my head. Her kids licked ice cream at the table, laughing each time I flinched. When I finally collapsed, Mr. Erickson twisted my arm behind my back and whispered, "3 more kids are coming next month. More checks. You'll be gone before then, one way or another." That's when I heard sirens. I looked out the window and saw 2 police cars and a CPS van pulling up. Someone had finally called in the Ericksons.